Hey, welcome back to Crit Catch, where this fly is apparently going to land on my potato. Yeah, I'm Michael, and this is Skylar, and Skylar has apparently had some issues with potatoes and flies.
It's just... I don't know why this was it today.
this fucking fly on my potato.
Well, have you ever been like eating out with somebody? Because like, you know, when you eat outside, bugs exist. Just, you know.
Do they, Skylar?
You know. Yeah. That's their space. You know, indoors is your place, and if a bug comes into it, well, they forfeited their life. But outdoors, that's their realm. You don't mess with them. But have you ever been eating out with somebody and like eating outside, and they just get like overly upset about like a fly or something, like especially like, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Especially like when the fly is like, the timings on all of this is terrible.
I think you're just gonna have to eat some damage.
I am, and it's actually gonna be okay because now trust me, it's actually gonna be all right once I get this. If I get this.
Edwin perceived the soul blade.
Because now...
Okay, it's not as cool as the recovery blade.
Oh god, I can't use it yet.
Why?
Because I'm not level 24 yet. What level am I?
23.
23. Mother...
How can you get more? You can't grind in this game. The monsters don't respawn.
Hang on, you can grind in a minute.
Oh.
But I have to get to level 24 to be able to grind.
Okay, what?
Hang on, you'll see.
Excuse me?
Oh no, how... Okay, this has gotta be it. This has gotta get me to 24.
Wow, these guys are coming for your ass.
There we go. All right, everything is about to open up as soon as I get the right magic equipped. Bow!
Oh shit!
Yeah!
You're kidding me.
Nope.
It originates from you.
Yeah.
As opposed to the...
And now I can make myself a little more powerful. Because these things give me 4,000 experience each.
Will they keep respawning?
Oh yeah, these are infinite. And I don't have to worry about them anymore. We're gonna power up a little bit because there's a super convenient place to do this. Right here.
Oh, you are shitting me.
Boop. So that's just like 12,000 experience every time.
You fucking power gamer. This is why we don't play D&D together.
To be fair with D&D, I don't like to min-max in D&D because I like the storytelling better than the mechanics of D&D.
We actually... We're so off base now. Did Allie tell you about the different way we did stats this time?
She did, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, before we get too far off on that, let me finish the Pac-Man thing so that can at least...
No, we're leaving it behind.
No, I gotta finish this.
Yeah, no, go for it.
Okay, so Atari, they gotta have something interesting to listen to while I'm doing this dumb crap.
Yeah, no, actually do this and tell your story.
Yeah. Because, so Atari, they super planned for Pac-Man to sell like gangbusters. So there were like...
Except it sucked.
Oh, well, yeah. So like there were like 10 million, something around 10 million Atari 2600s in circulation at the time. They printed like 12 million copies of Pac-Man. So not only did they assume that every single person was going to buy a copy of Pac-Man, they also assumed that they would sell 2 million additional Atari units in it, and then also sell the rest of those copies of Pac-Man to compensate. Which
got a real Crash Bandicoot on our hands. What's Crash Bandicoot? It's from the future.
Yeah, that's not how that conversation went. But so, I don't want to do this for an eternity.
No, keep going. Tell your story.
I just wanted to see. Oh, that's not going to be too long. So they did that, and it sold well at first until a bunch of people realized, like, oh god, this is not great, and they started returning them. So there was that. There was also the fact that E.T. was supposed to be like a big a big seller, and it turned out to be an indecipherable chunk of like ocean crap.
So they basically like sank too much cost into the production, but nobody was buying.
Well, so there was that, and then there was another component to this. I don't know why I called it ocean crap. I don't know. Like, I think that I can't even explain that, how that came into my head. I don't know, like just a giant fish turd floating around or something.
I assume they float up.
I actually don't know all that much, aside from I had to clean a goldfish tank when I was little because I had a goldfish. And that's about it. But so there was also the fact that a bunch of companies... Okay, so there's this other bit to it where a bunch of other companies had started making stuff on Atari, partly because Atari released these internal documents that revealed like what their top selling games were, because for the purposes of their engineers, they wanted them to build more games like the ones that were top earners, which, you know, from a business perspective makes sense.
Makes sense, yeah.
Except, and I don't remember the exact numbers here, so I am, for the purposes of anybody listening, I am fudging the numbers because I don't remember off the top of my head. But 4 guys found out that they were responsible for like a massive, it was something crazy, like of their most profitable games, these 4 guys were responsible for like 70% of them or something ridiculous. So like 4 people in the company were responsible for like a lot of Atari's profits, but they weren't being compensated any differently or paid any more or given any extra benefit.
That's lawsuits, huh?
Well, that's not actually what they sued over. And this goes back to a lot of stuff like the first Easter eggs with like Warren Robinette in Adventure, which a bunch of people are probably familiar with. Adventure was kind of like a proto. It was very similar to like a Zelda, only like in very stripped down Atari terms. Like you moved a little block around a screen, which was several different mazes that were all interconnected, and you could like pick up one item at a time and take it to another screen. Like there was a bridge that lets you get across something. There was a sword that lets you kill a dragon. And if you carried all of these items to the right place, you could open up a wall into a hidden room where Warren Robinette had put his name, because Atari didn't let people credit themselves. They were like,
they wanted to retain talent.
Well, yeah, they were worried about people like trying to poach their engineers and whatever. And so there was kind of a huge concern about that, and like so these 4 guys are like, we don't get credit for what we do. We're making all of this money and not getting more out of it. So they said, fuck it, and they went and they formed their own company, which is Activision.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
yeah,
didn't know
which
that.
is it's just a hilarious example of, you know, die the hero or live long enough to see yourself become the enemy. Given the way that Activision is kind of renowned for treating some of its people now. Stuff like the Infinity Ward incident, which I know at this point is several years back, but so that prompted Atari to try and sue to keep them from taking anything, or taking their stuff, not taking their stuff, from making games on their system, because Atari wanted to like retain all of the control to that, and the courts said nah. But that led to a bunch of people being like, oh, we can all make games on Atari? Okay. And so you had this, so on top of Atari's own bungles, you had this, you had this mass of new people making games in this space. And you had like Johnson & Johnson. So like, you know,
the baby company.
Yeah. Like the ones that own like pharmaceutical stuff. Like they made a game which was kind of like a Breakout clone.
Was it about babies?
No, it was about protecting your teeth.
You shoot a little... Whoa, what? Actually, yours is way more interesting than my dumb joke. What?
No, yeah, like you...
We're still doing this?
Well, I want to get to just kind of the end of the story before I go fight Death Toll, and we're getting close.
What happens if I
What do you take that off your mic?
Okay, sorry. I probably sounded. Ooh, yeah, that looks like it made a little bit of a.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
My bad.
So anyway, all of these companies come out of the woodwork. Like Quaker Oats bought a game development. Yeah. Now they were. It wasn't like here's oatmeal the game where it's like mix the proper amount of water and steel rolled Quaker Oats into your whatever. Like it wasn't like the guy in like the Amish hat or whatever. Like on an adventure, they just bought a game studio that they owned.
It's not even the fact that it's about Quaker Oats. It's just that like even Quaker Oats bought a game studio.
Well, yeah, which again, to be clear, it wasn't like make breakfast the game they just bought a studio.
Best part of waking up.
That's Folgers.
Oh yeah, goddamn it.
But so like, you know, all these like completely weird companies have this stuff, and they're flooding the market, and like nobody can tell what the hell is what. Like that Johnson & Johnson game is actually a fairly competent breakout clone where it's like you're trying to fend off the cavities and stuff that are coming at you from the top of the screen by like bouncing stuff, which is exactly how brushing my teeth in the morning works.
Yeah, I mean, tooth decay is exactly like breakout, and then your tooth explodes into points.
Yeah, 100%. But so
we're spooky.
Yeah, so we make holes in teeth, like that sort of whatever. Like that's probably that's actually before my time, I want to say. But so
the Quaker game.
No, the whole we make holes in teeth thing. That's from like some sort of like animated commercial for.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm literally continuing to do this because I want to do Death Toll in the next episode, and there's still 3 minutes, and so it's a good time to finish all this. So essentially, what happens is, all of these companies start flooding the market, and so there's games all over the place on all of the shelves. You've got your big name people that are just absolutely like fuckered from making bad decisions. Really hurts Atari's credibility and hurts their finances. People are returning games left and right or just not buying them. There's no quality control. And for all intents and purposes, the games industry in the United States looks like it's done. And so getting all of this back to like what Nintendo's role in all of this is, and I don't know specifically if they did it this way to prevent that problem. This is a supposition on my part because it is a little difficult to find information from that time. Like even going back and reading books and interviews and stuff, there's a lot that Japan still keeps under wraps in terms of the history of its games, history. Like to the point where I've got some books where they're all about interviews, and some of those interviews are still anonymous, even like 30 years later, just to make sure that word doesn't get out about leaked info.
The Great Game Wars of 19 whatever the fuck.
But yeah, the console. Well, that's something entirely different.
Yeah.
But so. Effectively, what you get is this situation where Nintendo controlling the number of releases per year that any company can put out does allow it to quality control better and allows it to stop over flooding from different areas. But what that means is you have way more time spent with an individual game, because all of this started from the idea of why were those emblems just kind of like sitting there hidden? Like,
yeah.
And
like, how would you have known?
Right. And that's the thing. The game tells you that you're missing certain things. Like it tells you that you have to go and get these emblems to get this special item. And so you know they're there, which means you spend all of this time actually going around and looking for them.
So did someone have to go through every zone and just click like randomly as fuck looking for?
In the worst cases, yes. In this case, they kind of try and hint at it, like the place where the mushroom was, aside from me absolutely like bungle fucking remembering where it was standing. That the mushroom was sitting on the spot you were supposed to investigate. So there are some subtle clues in this game, but in a lot of them, there's just shit standing or sitting in places, and you just gotta hope you press the button in the right spot.
Jesus. Okay.
All right. So that's kind of the end of that particular conversation. We made it to right about the 15-minute mark. So next time on Crit Couch, we're gonna go fight Satan.
No, it is not Satan.
It's Death.
Death Toll.
I like doing that with the cup.
It's Death Toll. Ow. Ow!
Did you hurt your throat?
My throat just like popped. What?
What?
I don't
What do you
know.
mean it popped?